Okay, welcome everyone to today's Platinum Coaching Webinar. It's always great to talk to you guys. But today you're going to want to get settled in, especially for the next hour. I'm going to try to get through as much of this material as we can, but I'm going to break it up into two parts. Okay, now, in case you don't recognize my voice, there's my picture. Yep, Todd Walters, Platinum Coach, Craig Proctor Real Estate Coaching, and this is the Millionaire Agent Maker Program, our elite level real estate coaching program, as you know, and we greatly appreciate your participation in it. Now, about every month we do a coaching webinar of some kind for Platinum members, and it's really to walk you through some of the unique aspects of the systems that we work on here in this program. Okay? Now, just to set the stage, though, for this webinar today, let me share with you a couple of quick things. Okay, the first one is that as your business begins to grow, you begin to expand in size and scope and income and everything that goes with a business that is growing, being profitable, you're going to begin to delegate leads to other people. Now, some of you on this webinar have as many as 20 people on your real estate sales team or more, and some of you, it may just be you and your wife or you and a partner, or maybe you're doing it all by yourself depending on your average sales price. You know, that's great. I'm just going to tell you straight up, Craig Proctor, myself, we recommend that you operate with as few people as possible. So it's not about having a large business, it's about having a profitable real estate business. Okay, so herein lies one of the problems. Eventually, you're going to get to the point where you're going to have to delegate more and more leads to other people on your team. Okay, people sell homes, not ads. Okay, so as you begin to delegate leads, prospects, opportunities per se, to others that aren't you, then you're going to lose some productivity. It's just the way it is with any business. Okay, and let me give you a good example of what I'm talking about. Everybody on this call is familiar with Apple products, like the iPhone. Okay, we make fun of me and my handy-dandy iPhone, and that's okay. I can definitely handle it. I played it up, you know, if you've listened to my voicemail on my cell phone, you got a big kick out of it because right now I've got recorded on there that you've reached my iPhone. So we have a lot of fun. So we're familiar with Apple products, right? Okay. All right, now here's the interesting thing about that company. Number one, it's a very big company. It makes an awful lot of money every year. We all are well aware of that. Okay, so I go into the Apple store the other day at the mall. Now, it's a freaking zoo in this Apple store, okay? So I walk into the Apple store, and I can't really get in the door, but as soon as I walk in, and I have my daughter with me, okay, my 14-year-old daughter, we're going into the Apple store. I look around, I'm like, oh, my God. And there's a person standing at the door who looks like the gatekeeper. She got a little earpiece in, and she got a little thing on the side, you know, it looks like some sort of mini computer, and I don't know what it is, but I look at her, and she's like, what are you looking for? And I show her my daughter's cell phone, which had basically, she had dropped it, and the screen on it, and she's got an iPhone, the little glass part of it was shattered. Okay, so obviously I was there to swap it out. Well, I already knew from asking around that it was going to cost me $199 to swap out this iPhone. Okay? Okay, so follow me. So I looked at the lady, showed her the phone, and she says, oh, you're going to have to make an appointment at the Genius Bar for that. And I'm like, okay. And she said, and unfortunately, we're all booked up today. Like, you know, we don't have any more openings today for the Genius Bar. And I'm like, lady, I just want to give you this phone or throw it away and buy another one. And I understand it's $199. You know, well, you've got to, and so I'm having this conversation. Well, it takes me about 30 seconds to understand that she is in a different business than you're in and that I'm in. Okay? And her business is not the business of selling anything. So the point that I'm making here is that Apple can afford to spend an awful lot of money pre-selling everything they roll out. Now, understand how these large businesses operate, okay, which is a little bit different than the small business. These super large businesses operate on the premise that they can sell their stuff before you ever show up at the store or before you ever go online to buy. So with viral marketing, media hype, social networking, television, radio, you name it, they spend gobs, millions, hundreds of millions of dollars to pre-sell their products and services so that when you go to the store, they don't have to worry or manage, quote, salespeople. They manage order takers. Okay, and that's true. They don't have experts in these stores at selling these type of businesses. Okay, now, your business and my business, well, look, it's a little bit different. Okay, our business is small, so we have to sell. We're like the main sales guy. Okay, which means that we have to have people around us that are very good at selling as well. So herein lies the difference between when you read Michael Gerber's book, The E-Myth Revisited, okay, when he's talking about McDonald's and companies like Apple and Microsoft and all these other companies that he uses as these ideals, and he refers to the small business. And what he's saying is, look, yes, the small businessman can learn how to do what those companies do, so that when people show up to do business with you, they're already ready to do business with you, and your salespeople don't have to be experts. Now you can be a lot more successful, a lot less turnover, and on and on. So therein, my friends, lies the big secret here to having a very good follow-up program. Right now, if it's just you, if you're the follow-up guy or gal, and you get on the phone and you're calling back the leads, look, you don't need a whole lot. You just need yourself and your telephone, because when you get on the phone with them, you're going to do a pretty good job of selling them into meeting with you at some point now or in the near future. Right? You're good at what you do. You are the man, so to speak, okay, or the woman. All right, so you're good at it. But as soon as you delegate the lead to Susie Smith or Jacob Jones over there, outside sales agents or inside sales agents, well, they're not you. And they're not me, and they're not Craig Proctor, and they don't have the experience with direct response marketing and our scripts that we do. So we're going to lose some productivity. So this is why the follow-up systems that we've been working on in the Platinum program for many, many, many years are so essential when you begin to delegate leads. And they will also help you as the team leader. If you're the main guy for calling back all the leads, then look, it's going to help you be able to work more efficiently and be more productive as well, because leads can be a little more pre-sold on you. Okay, so here's how it works. Before we get into really looking at the flow chart of all this, okay, just understand that your job as the rainmaker, the chief marketing officer in your real estate organization, okay, your job is simple. Bring in the business and then figure out every which way to Sunday you possibly can to convert that business to pre-sold customers, so that when you or your salespeople get on the phone and call them back and arrange for a face-to-face meeting, it's as close to taking an order as possible. So to do this, or to set your business up now to where it can essentially do that, so you can be like Craig Proctor and have a real estate company that makes $4 or $5 million a year and really not have to work all that hard in it, okay? Or me, having a real estate company that makes $3 or $4 million a year, where you basically are almost an absentee owner, to a certain extent. I'm just telling you, without those essential follow-up systems in place, you're going to have a lot of turnover in your business. Your salespeople are going to get frustrated. Your inside salespeople aren't going to be as effective as you want them to. Your cash flow is going to be tight, and so on and so on. So that's the purpose of this webinar, which we're going to have to break down into two parts here. Okay? So get comfortable, get a notepad, pay very close attention to what we're talking about. Everything that I'm going to be sharing with you today is located on the coaching site at your fingertips. It's in there, okay, in the Platinum Resource Library. Okay, it's all right there, broken up into several different manuals and parts that you can follow along and understand. Okay, so now that we've kind of got a really good understanding of what the need is, and I know that we all have them. I mean, follow-up is the deal, right? We're all pretty good at generating leads, but let's face it, it falls apart many times after we generate the leads. I mean, why do you have to generate, 20 leads to sell 1 or 2 houses? I mean, that's insane. So I think we would all agree that it's somewhere between when the lead comes in and we talk to them, or we're not able to talk to them, but that whole follow process that's the ticket. So if we can figure that out, And we have, if you can implement it properly and work on this, make this a rainmaking activity for you, it'll make a big difference in your business. Okay, so it's all about leverage. So let's step through it for the first part of our webinar today. We're going to walk through it. We're going to look at some of the basics, be very good refresher and information, foundational information, I think, for everyone. But we need to look at just the whole flow chart here to start with. So let's do that. So we've got our lead flow chart. You can see it on your screen right there. Okay, and essentially, someone in your business is pulling these leads off from wherever they come in, right? Webmail or from the internet, live call-ins, information lines. Like you have places of contact, points of contact. Okay, and typically you've got an administrator taking these leads down, these prospects, getting them into your contact management system, either manually or automatically. The more automated, the better, right? And then from there, everybody has access to them, who you want to have access to them. Okay, so administrator pull these leads off from, say, from email, phone, whatever. Okay, gets them into your contact management system, agent officer, top producer. And then activity plans. Basically now it's just a checklist. A checklist is put together. You have a checklist for every new prospect that hits your contact management system, right? So what is included in this checklist? Well, look, just wave your magic wand. What is it that, if you could wave a magic wand, money was no issue, what is it that you would want to have happen? Okay, and that will form your checklist, and we'll look at some of that here momentarily. Okay, but the admin puts them in the agent office. Let me grab a little highlighter tool right here. Oh, let me say this. If you have a question as we're moving through today's webinar, just access your GoToWebinar control panel. Click on the little questions tab, type in your question, and we can take your questions as they come in. Okay, either we'll answer them right now, or I'll follow up later and answer them, or whatever is appropriate, just to make sure that we can get through the information here and to everyone's benefit. Okay. So administrator enters the leads in the contact management system. The administrator launches an activity plan. Okay. And the activity plan should automatically assign tasks. Okay, whether it's to inside sales or outside sales. Okay. Inside sales people are typically going to follow up until the lead becomes an appointment. I don't care how long that takes, a day, a couple of minutes, or a year. Don't care. I paid for the lead. They're going to be moving sooner or later. You follow up with them until they're an appointment. Agent. Okay, problem is that outside sales people, they ain't going to do that. They're just not going to do that well. Their focus is on now business. That's why I say give them the sign calls that come from their listings. But all these other prospects that are not expecting calls, yeah, you're probably going to have something like this in place, an inside sales department, or you, okay, are the inside salesperson to follow up with those type of prospects. Right? And then after appointment is set, you get basically 10 steps to appointment conversion. Okay, so that's the lead chart. And I recommend that you have, as part of your operational system, and you should have your operational system somewhere that you can see it in your office. Right? Yes, it might be on a computer, but it needs to be in a book form as well. There's got to be an operating system somewhere, tangible, that it is a flow chart that you can clearly see what happens with prospects. And everybody needs to be aware of this in your business. When you start adding people, they have to understand the flow of the prospect. Without the lead, we got nothing. Leads turn into sales. Sales turns into money. Then you get paid. Do you understand? You only get paid after the lead becomes a sale. And here's how it all happens. So everybody in your business has to understand that, look, this job that they have, it's not necessarily a right. Okay? It's not a government job. It ain't guaranteed. It's a small business, and we have to please this customer in order to end up with $1 at the end of the day to pay for all of our goodies, including your salary. Okay, so you want to be able to make that clear, and I think a flow chart's a great way to do that. Craig Proctor and I talk about that quite a bit. Okay, so let's look at live call-ins. We'll call these people that call in directly. May off a sign call. Okay, admin answers the incoming call. Thank you for calling the Realty team. This is Susie. How can I help you today? Okay, that's an essential way greeting. Okay, now if I called your office, is that what's happening? If I called your business right this moment, Am I going to get that live person answering the telephone, or am I going to get your voicemail that says, hey, this is Todd Walters, and you've reached our auto attendant, which means we're basically too busy to talk to you. Okay, I'm just telling you, you don't like it when you call those auto attendant message machines or whatever you want to call them at businesses. I don't like it, so yeah, your customers don't like it either. So you want to find a way to get some live person answering the telephone. It'll make a difference in your leads. Okay, we've talked about this at conferences and other meetings before. All right. So if it's a buyer, seller, prospect, right? One of the things that we want to find out is if they have an agent they're working with, right? Are you working with an agent? Okay, and if they're not working with an agent, then the administrator really wants to get their contact info. You got them. They're on the hook. They want something from you. So that's the perfect time to get their contact information. Okay, so let's just kind of role play it out. Hi, this is Todd Walters with the Realty team, and how can I help you today? Well, I was calling about this property over here at 1065 Gunner Court. Fantastic. Are you currently working with an agent? No? So that in case we get disconnected and I can help, make sure that you get helped by the right person, can I get your name? Okay, John Smith. And what's your best cell phone number there? Mr. Smith, you have a home phone number? Okay, great. Okay, and I can email you a fully loaded feature sheet of the property along with some pertinent details as well. If you give me your email address, okay, great, thank you. Okay, and then I'm going to get them to the best agent. Okay, maybe it's the guy who's got the house listed. Now, if they say yes to working with an agent, are your people on your real estate team, your administrators, are they telling this prospect, okay, well, we're not going to help you, go call your agent? No, don't do that. Your job is to steal these people away from these other agents. I'm amazed at how many times I mystery shop platinum members. Okay, I mean, these are high-income earners, but I mystery shop businesses, maybe yours, and I say, yeah, I'm working with an agent, and they don't try to steal me. They don't try to rob from the other agent in town. It's like you're trying to do them a favor. Well, we don't want to take that agent's business. No. Your job is to steal the business away, and the reason is because you do it better. If you do it better, you're obligated, okay, and you have the universe's permission. If you do it better, you're obligated to help that person because you can provide them with a better experience. And your stockholders in your business demand it, okay, and the consumer wants a better experience. All right, so interesting stuff. Okay, then we're going to add the prospect to the contact management system with all the information that we just took down, and we're going to simply schedule a call to be made by inside salesperson or an outside salesperson, depending on what they're calling on. So let's make sure we're clear on that, okay? Sign calls, pretty much going to outside salespeople, okay? Not expecting a call back, going to inside sales, okay? Depending on how you have your business set up. All right, but that's kind of typically the way it works in Craig's office and my office, okay? Now, the idea is that we want to give the best leads to the best agents, whether it's inside or outside sales. Now, I realize that the majority of people in this program do not have inside salespeople yet. Okay, that's a tipping point for a business that gets around $1 million, $2 million in income. Then you're looking at an inside salesperson, maybe $750,000. That's the time you're looking at ISAs, probably not until then, as a prescription based on how our systems are set up. Okay, so that's nice. So we're looking at our lead flow chart here a little bit more. Information lines, okay. Craig Proctor, myself, big proponent of info lines. I still use them in the things that I do with Craig, info lines, okay. But the admin takes the information right off, puts it in the agent office, schedules an activity or launches an activity plan, which includes follow-up. Now, the interesting thing here is fulfillment, okay. So we're going to call this, you might want to write this down, it's not on your screen, it's called your optimum selling strategy, okay. You have a best practice, and rule number one in your best practices with your optimum selling strategy is to follow through with fulfillment. You want to approach your prospects from a position of fulfillment. So if they asked for something, requested information from you, a free consumer report or a list of homes, then they best be getting it, okay? fulfillment is hassle. Let me repeat this. Fulfilling the prospect's request is a great deal of work and hassle. But successful businesses do that. Okay? Businesses who don't do that never achieve success, greatness. If you can go read Jim Collins' book, Good to Great, that is a big part of the success. They're adamant about customer fulfillment, which they know leads to experience and lifetime retention of a prospect, customer, client. Okay, so make sure it goes out. Then, of course, the activity plan includes a follow-up call, right? So let's take a look at, one other point right here is these caller ID reports from these unique USP lines, these information lines. Some of you guys are calling hang-ups, I guess you call them, on these things, and you can do that, but probably your business is too busy to call people who hang up, okay, but they could represent some value. You got their phone number, so if there's downtime or you're looking for some prospects to call, or you want to train some inside salespeople and follow up, that's an okay thing to do, but ideally it's low percentage of water, so ideally we wouldn't want to burden our salespeople with calling back people that are hanging up on the information lines. Okay, the purpose of the info line is to get people to leave their contact information. Internet leads, same thing. Administrators pulling them right out of the system, probably automatically importing them into agent office, right? So I'm assuming a lot here. This is not a system about how to do these things. I'm assuming you guys already know how to import your leads from your website into your contact management system. So we're not going there, but we just want to look at the process. And you can see that one of the things that's essential when these contacts end up in your contact management system is tracking. Okay? All right, so my question for you is, if I looked at your contact management system today, no, let me back up. This is better. If I looked at your sales from last month, okay, would I know where the sale came from? If I looked at your sales, let's suppose you had 10 sales last month, would I know where they came from specifically? And let me give you some specifics. Let's suppose you're running a Google, MSN, Yahoo marketing campaign. Okay, was it Google, MSN, or Yahoo? And which ad was it on Google, MSN, or Yahoo? Which geographic area? Okay, in other words, what were the keywords that led to that particular prospect becoming a sale? Now, this is important because now you know where to spend your money the next month. Okay, how to optimize things, get rid of stuff that's not working so well. So when you get really good at that, and every good CEO is, okay, then you can become a very wealthy real estate agent because you'll have lots of business and very, very little waste. Okay? All right, so once you launch your follow-up plans, okay, and somebody's launching these follow-up plans when these people get into your system, right? Okay, what are you doing, though, with these leads? Like, one of the things that I was a little bit surprised of is that a lot of Platinum members didn't have very good backup systems. In other words, if all of your prospects are in your contact management system or online, well, what happens if you lose access to that? If it crashes, if the whole thing crashes and burns, you lose your prospects. So we would go through a lot of paper, printing the leads off of the internet, those emails off, you know what I'm talking about, and basically kept about a month's worth in the file. There's always 30 days worth of leads. Okay, and the reason was simple, is in case something broke. And you know what? It happened 3 times. Systems broke, lost everything, and but you know what? We were never out of business because we had at least the paper copies of the leads. Okay, just a recommendation there. All right, now let's talk about the activity plans. So we kind of got an idea of the lead flow, but what type of activity plan are you launching, and what is it designed to do? Okay, I started out the webinar by saying, look, when you begin to delegate prospects, okay, leads to others outside of you, okay, this is when it really becomes important to have very good follow-up systems. And a follow-up system is basically a checklist of things to do, okay? Either they're being done automatically or they're being done by an individual, right? So on this screen right here, you can see that there's several bullet points, in essence, activity plans that we've tested around with in our system. Now, let me give you an idea of how far I go to make this idiot-proof. And I don't mean this, I don't mean that negatively, but I'm like, look, I need my 9-year-old daughter, okay, to be able to do this. Okay, so she's got to be able to look at it, and she knows what activity plan to launch. Okay, so that's how it's got to be, unless you've got one activity plan for everybody. But my guess is you have video emails for buyers, you got video emails for sellers, maybe you have some direct mail that's going out, so you got to know whether it's a buyer or seller, buy first, sell first, and you got to make some educated guesses along the way. So obviously this activity plan here, what does it say? Net buyer email own local. Yeah, self-explanatory. The buyer came from, email. Okay. We have his email address. They own a property right here in town. That's it. So what activity plan would I launch? Well, then we would launch this activity plan. Buyer lead from net. Owns a home. Locally with an address and phone number. That's how you describe them. Okay, and that's the activity plan that would get launched. And this activity plan included things to help pre-sell this prospect on me, so that as we followed up and as we called and as we met, it was much easier to convert the prospect to a face-to-face appointment. It was much easier to convert the prospect to a signed agreement. That's the whole idea of these activity plans on the follow-up systems. Okay? So you can see there's a myriad of activity plans there, whether it's just a buyer, just a seller, whether we have an address, we don't have an address. Okay, so we were using 3 or 4 of these activity plans frequently, pretty much every day. Okay, because yes, we wanted to send direct mail to people that we had addresses from that identified themselves as a high priority seller prospect. Great stuff. So let's take a look at some of these activity plans and give you an idea of how it lays out. Hopefully you can see this on your computer screen okay. But this is we'll call it net buyer email own local. Okay, it's what we call the activity plan. Lead came from the internet, okay, as a buyer first lead, okay, we have his email address. He actually owns a house right here in town. Okay, so you can see this plan is self-explanatory. Okay, so the first activity is pretty simple. Buy a lead that owns a home. Okay, and that activity was obviously scheduled or rescheduled by an administrator or the office manager. Okay, and they just rescheduled the activity to show up on one of our agents or inside sales agents schedulers. That's it. Okay, now we had direct mail going out only because, okay, let's just take a look at the direct mail. You can see once a week there's direct mail going out. And the reason direct mail is going out is because the guy owns a house here in town. Okay, that's what we got from the form that he filled out. That's what he said. So we're going to take them at their word and we'd send it. And there was very little waste in that because people were pretty accurate when filling out these forms, especially when it comes to owning their own home and their address and all that kind of stuff, right? And if we weren't sure, we just didn't send the mail. We didn't launch that activity plan. Okay. Okay, now, so they're getting mail. We'll take a look at some of the direct mail here in just a minute. Okay, and you can see I just named, again, idiot-proof in the business. I would say, okay, Mary, this is what goes out in Platinum Mail number 1. And Platinum Mail number 1 may be a postcard or a flyer or some Dan Kennedy marketing content. Doesn't matter, but I would just go ahead and assemble the packages and put them in a file, and they just got pulled out, folded in the envelope, and sent. Okay, whatever I labeled as Platinum Mail number 1, for example. Okay, now down here where it says email. Okay, so every week you can see the seller's also getting an email because we have his email address. Now the email that I prefer is the video email. Okay, the video email that we specifically had done by Shy Schwartzman, okay, for Platinum members. All right, so let's take a look real fast here at some of those emails. How about that? So I'm going to pause my screen here for just a minute. So hang on one second here while I do that, because I don't want to be minimizing the webinar, and you guys can see all the stuff that I've got here. So let me pull that up. Here we go. So I'm going to take you back into my Outlook. Okay, here we go. Here are the buyer video emails right here in my Outlook. Okay, email number 10, save thousands when buying a home. Here's the email over here. Okay, most likely have two considerations in mind when searching for a dream home, blah, 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 blah. And you can see here's the link to the email. Let's see, there it is right there. How do you like that technology? I can stream sound through the webinar to you.
If you're like most home buyers,
Mr. Casey's the actor there, so fantastic. Okay, well, there's a good example of buyer video email. In this case, you can see there's several of them. And you guys, look, you guys have access to all that. You can get those from Shai Schwartzman at lifestylemedia.ca. Okay, Shai Schwartzman, lifestylemedia.ca. Done for you. Video emails for buyers and sellers. The seller video emails for Platinum members now are exclusive. It has Dan Kennedy content. We wrote all the scripts with Mr. Kennedy. They're very, very good, and they correspond with the Dan Kennedy material or flyers that you would send out as your direct mail. Okay, so, but that's the follow-up program. Okay, now let's look at a few other examples, though. Let's say that the guy, okay, there's no phone number. Well, the problem here is that we don't have a phone number. We can just pick up the phone and call the guy. So what do? Well, guess what? We have his address. Let me pull my little highlighter pen back out. We have the buyer's address because he owns a house. Okay, but he doesn't have a phone. So what we do? Well, then we would look up the phone number. Okay, now look, that's a little bit of a hassle. Yes, your agents would much rather just be given the phone number, but from the day one, if they understand that as part of their job, they have to look up phone numbers for people where there's not one, then they do it. Okay? So now this is where your direct mail and your video emails every week come in even more handy, because the person, you're probably going to be able to pick up their phone number from them responding to whatever it is you're emailing and direct mailing. Okay, so we're going to look a little bit more of those follow-up pieces here momentarily. Okay, but yeah, they look at the phone numbers. I mean, come on, and call them. Okay, now let's look at a few other options. Same thing here. Buyer came from the internet. He has an email address, but he's renting. Okay, which means that we're not going to be sending them any video emails about selling their house. It's just all buyer stuff. Okay, because he said that he was renting. Okay. How about a buyer that's not local? Okay, well, what about this guy? Same thing. You know, they're getting emails from us, and we're calling them. Okay, and the emails that they're getting, again, are the video emails, okay, that we just looked at. Okay. How about no phone number? Same thing. Got to go look it up. If we have an address, look up the phone number. Okay. Then if you don't have a phone number, then we can make a decision whether to delete the prospect, okay, because we can't call them, which will delete all these follow-up activity plans, or whether we still continue to send an email, which doesn't really cost anything, for a specific period of time, and then decide at the end of the activity plan. Okay. Same thing with the seller leads. Okay. Yep. Activity to call them right away. Okay. And yep, we got direct mail, and we have the video emails. Okay, and that's what this system was here, is the video emails that we would use. Okay, so I think you're getting it now. But bottom line is, yeah, you got to have an activity plan for every prospect. And to make it simple for you, the activity plans are designed to leverage your business, your offer, okay, your goodies, okay, so that no matter what you do or how good you are on the telephone, your video, email, and your direct mail that's going out, if that's what you're using to follow up with these people, okay, is going to tell your story effectively for it. Okay, this way that no matter really what happens on the telephone, you still got a shot at the prospect, plus the prospects that you can't reach. Okay, let's look at it in reality. The reality is you're going to pick up the phone, you're going to call back a prospect today, and you're going to get them on the phone. You may even talk to them before they ever get the first email or direct mail from you. Right? That's exactly right. So what happens then? Well, nothing. We still continue to let the emails and video emails go out until such time as we decide not to let them go out. That could be from that phone conversation because they tell us, look, my mom is my agent. Okay, well, we're not going to continue to direct mail. We got very little chance of stealing that guy away from his mother, so we'd probably delete that prospect out of the system altogether, okay, so they're not continuing to get our emails and direct mail. That would be a waste of money. Okay, but hey, we may talk to them. We may book an appointment right now for the next 3 days. So just because we have an appointment doesn't mean that we're not going to continue to send them the direct mail and the video emails, because the job of the direct mail and the video email is to pre-sell the prospect. In other words, you generate the leads and then you brand the heck out of them. Okay? So again, on these seller video emails, there's 10 exclusive videos that Shy has done for Platinum members using scripting from the Dan Kennedy material that we have access to. It's exclusive to the folks in this program only, okay? And you can get those from Shy at lifestylemedia.ca. They already come done for you, and you can also get the scripts and you can record them yourself, okay? So there you go. Very, very good stuff. And the video emails will take the seller back to key pages on your website or directly to you, however you decide you want to set them up, okay? Now, what about the direct mail? Like, what are we going to send these guys? Well, if it were me, most of you are sending out flyers and you're sending out postcards now, right? And the flyers and the postcards are very effective. Okay, no question about that. The problem is that's a lead generator. So I wouldn't necessarily send out stuff that's going to regenerate the lead because I've already got the lead. The purpose of my follow-up after I have the lead is to let the prospect know that I'm the guy with the buyers, if it's a seller prospect, and if it's a buyer prospect, it's to let them know I'm the guy with the houses. Okay? Letting sellers know I'm the guy with the buyers, and letting sellers know I'm the guy, letting the buyers know I'm the guy with the houses. Specifically, priority access proprietary information. So for us, the best that we've had that we've done over the years is leverage this the Dan Kennedy material from the coaching site as your direct mail systems for follow-up after you generate leads. Okay, now remember, you're probably sending out a flyer or postcard to an expired listing, for example. Okay, and yeah, so that generates a lead. Well, you don't want to resend them the same postcard again. That's a waste of money. They've already called on that. You want to start selling them or telling them your story. Okay, now you can see from this screenshot on the coaching site. And you know what? I don't like the way that looks either, so I'm going to let me minimize that bad boy right there for you, because I want to get that screenshot in there a little better, so you can see how far off that is. I'm going to do that right now while I've got you guys, and you'll be mesmerized by my use of technology and the PowerPoint software. How about that? Well, that's good. Let's go back to our, all right, let's go back to this. Okay, so you can see pretty clearly from the screenshot that I'm in the file library on the coaching site. I click on Dan Kennedy material, and all of these ID numbers, okay, represent flyers, if you want to call them that, but marketing copy that your competitors just won't know about, won't be able to knock off, or can't duplicate, that should make up part of your direct mail to these prospects. You can send one flyer, two flyers, three flyers. Pick any combination you want, but this is how you want to be branding the prospects through direct mail after you generate the lead, okay? After you generate the lead. Your job is to tell your story, okay? Let me pull back up my control panel there. All right, so let's take a look at some of these examples. And let's see here, next screenshot. Cover letter, that's on the coaching site library. And we got the agent selection guide. I love the agent selection guide, especially, about making the selection factors chart, playing blind archery, reasons that you would use a lesser experienced agent, than you. Okay, top 4 mistakes to avoid when, making your selection, and the list goes on and on. This is pretty good. You're lucky you live in York region. This is one from Craig. Okay, 4 big reasons to ask us to help you sell your home. Okay, so this is information that can't be duplicated, in my opinion, by your competitors. Unique selling propositions, performance guarantees. Remember, that's probably why you generated the seller lead in the first place, unless they called you on an editorial ad or free quick overnight home evaluation ad or some other form. But again, let me just reiterate. You generate the lead, they go in the agent office, an activity plan gets launched. The activity plan has video email and direct mail. Okay, now you don't have to do all this, but I'm just telling you that eventually, as you begin to delegate leads, you're going to lose productivity, okay? But if you can afford to hire outside salespeople, you're going to have to be able to afford leveraging your story in such a way that it gets told properly, because the salespeople are going to drop the ball a little bit, okay? Oh, and if you haven't paid much attention to the survey, this is very good as well, and you've heard me on our other direct mail pieces, we talked about the surveys, and because people will tell you whether to continue mailing to them or not. Okay. Now, if you don't have this this radio interview done, put that on your list of things to do. Okay. This is very, very, very effective. Okay. Look, some people are visual. Some people won't read anything. They want to watch. Some people don't want to watch. They want to listen. Okay. So there's all these different types of personalities out there. That's why, if you're going to be very, very effective at shock and awe or branding yourself once you generate these leads, then, hey, look, a radio interview CD like the one you're looking at on your screenshot here, very effective, okay? Then you'll be able to also use it, post it on your ultimate converter, or what we call the bomb, okay, as well. Stream it that way. Testimonial book, essential, okay? So if you don't have a book of testimonials, like Craig's here, 178 Reasons Your Home Will Sell Faster for Top Dollar, you got to put that on your list of things to do. Okay. Now, Danielle at BXL Printers is helped us with putting all of that stuff together, so you can contact her if you need to for any of those things, or you can create them yourself by copying them from the coaching site. Okay, under the Platinum Dan Kennedy Library. Okay, here's another interesting follow-up piece. Is from Todd Walters' laptop computer, and let's say Craig Proctor is our prospect. Hey, Craig, it's me, Todd Walters from the Realty team. I've got a really important message to share with you regarding selling your home fast for top dollar with less hassle. So I built your own special website just for you. As soon as you can, please go to. This works very effective as an email as well. Now, where does that take in the prospect? That's right. It's taking them back to the ultimate converter, the online bomb, which will do a very good job of taking everything that we're sending them via direct mail, the emails that the seller prospect might be getting. It's going to do a very good job of tying all that together and pre-selling them in a very, very effective way. Okay, so, and you can even go there yourself. Maybe if you want to, you can open up your web browser right now, and you can go to craig-proctor.cashoffers.net. Okay, don't type in www, you don't have to do anything like that. The Ultimate Converter possesses the technology. You don't have to do, just go to craig-proctor.cashoffers.net in your web browser, and you'll be able to see that Ultimate Converter, or the online bomb, as I like to call it, work. Okay, it's a great pre-selling system. Okay, so hopefully you've gotten a really good idea of how best, okay, to position your follow-up systems, initially anyway, so that you can begin branding these prospects the moment they become a lead. I mean, they become a lead, you've got a system in place that will go to work on your behalf, telling your story and pre-selling you, okay, your company, your system, the way you do business, pre-selling them to the buyers and to these seller prospects. So when you do get face-to-face eventually, okay, when you do get on the phone with them, okay, it's going to be much easier to convert that business. That's the whole purpose of this system. Okay, now, if you're okay with generating 20 leads and selling 1 or 2 homes, then you don't need to do this. Okay, you don't need these additional systems of leverage. Okay, but if you're not okay with that sort of productivity, efficiency, then yes, sooner or later, you're going to have to get into putting these type of follow-up systems together in your business. Okay, and when you do, you'll see a big difference in your sales and productivity. Okay, let's think about it. Let's suppose that we right, that's just it. Say we're getting 10 leads. For every 10 leads that we get, we convert 1 to a sale. So we're 10% productive, or 90% unproductive. Okay, but let's suppose you put a system like this, and you go from turning 1 out of 10 leads into a sale to selling 3 out of 10 leads into a sale. Okay, you have increased your productivity 3 times, 300%. Well worth the time, energy, money, effort to do that, right? Of course it is. And it will do that for you if you do it right. Okay, so we talked about the seller video emails. Here are the buyer video emails. Okay, I screenshot those just for the sake of this PowerPoint so you could see them right here and get an idea of them. Let's take a look at just a couple of them here. Buyer mistakes email. If only I had known this before I bought my home, it would have saved me. Okay, if I had died for every time I heard that, it would be much easier to pay my bills these days. It is sad that good people just wanting to buy a new home have to suffer through the agony of mistakes that could have been avoided. Okay, fear of loss, definitely good leverage, leveraging off people's fears, okay, with your proposed solutions so they don't have those fears. They can overcome great marketing, okay, and this is doing it just right here. Just click on the link and they watch the video email, okay, and again, you get these video emails from Shy. They're already done for you. And yeah, it's Jim Casey right there, and it's got the frame around it of that brands you. So even though it's Casey talking about we, us, and our, that's the words he's using in these video emails, he's the stand-in. He's you standing in, saying we, us, and our. And around the we, us, and our video, okay, is all your contact information, branded stuff. And anytime they click on it, it's going to take them right to you or your website. Okay, let's see what else we got. 13 cost buyer email. Seems like mortgage companies, closing attorneys, title companies, state of Georgia, and others all want some of your hard-earned money when you decide to buy a home. As little as an eighth of a point on your interest rate can mean hundreds of dollars more or less each month on your new mortgage payment. That's pretty good. 0 down. Everyone, even those who don't need to, can buy a home with absolutely no money down. That's right. Even in today's marketplace. Sure can. We've done several of those. Matter of fact, I'm in the process of buying a farm in Illinois. Rebuying a farm. I used to have one there. No money down. How you like that? Yep. I'm just not into putting down a lot of down money if it's an income-producing property. A common problem is that getting approved for a mortgage is a hassle. Either you are chasing down a mortgage consultant or they're pursuing you. Okay? So that's a decent email. Avoid the most costly buyer traps when moving up to your new home. Like that one. Beat out other buyers to best home deals. And once you get those video emails in place, then they can automatically go out through Top Producer, Infusionsoft, or Agent Office, whatever contact management system you may be using. Okay, but essential ingredient in all of this, and we're going to wrap up today's webinar with this. Okay, and then we'll revisit the follow-up system, in a few more weeks for part 2. But I want to kind of wrap it up. This is a good stopping point for today because this is a lot of information. Is that you and everyone on your team, including your administrators. Okay, let me repeat that. You, everyone on your team, including your administrators, even your photographer and courier if you have one of those, okay, or eventually they will. They must know what the offer is. Okay, what is the offer? In other words, what do you do? So if somebody asks your courier, suppose you got a big team, and they ask your courier, what do you guys do? And if your courier says, we sell houses, then he has failed, okay, in his job. His job is not just to take pictures and put up for sale signs. Your administrator's job is not just to put leads into the contact management system. Everybody's job is marketing. That's what your business does. Your culture really must be about that. So you want to make sure that everybody on your team, and if you guys remember, look, if you remember coming to my office on the office tour, whenever that was, I think the last one we did was maybe in 2004, 2005, something like that. But if you remember coming to my office, you will remember that about every person that you met, that you saw. The administrators that were all there, because there were no agents, nobody talked to you, it was just the administrative people, okay, and the inside sales guys. They all were good at selling. They knew what the offer needed to be. High I, high S, high C, high D personality, it didn't matter. They knew the offers. Okay, so I hate to say that over and over again like that. It sounds a little condescending, but my goodness, you guys need to know these offers, and all your salespeople do, and your inside salespeople, and your administrators, and everybody else associated with your business. Okay, this is what you do right here. These are your offers. Okay, so this is handy-dandy material for everybody. They can never go wrong by making an offer. Okay, at least a performance guarantee. Okay, like, yep, we guarantee to sell a folks' home. If they don't sell, we'll buy them. We guarantee the sale of homeowners' properties, people who really want to make a move in today's marketplace. And if they don't get the price that they need, then we pay them the difference. Okay, yep, we guarantee that buyers are going to be happy with the home that they buy through us, and if they're not, we're going to buy it back from them. We guarantee buyers are going to save at least $25,000 on their next home purchase, or we're going to pay them the difference on it. Okay, whatever your performance guarantee is or whatever your offers are, they need to know. So it goes beyond the follow-up script here. Okay, so hopefully, if nothing else today, we've done a good job of really laying out the Platinum follow-up system in some detail. There's a lot of generalities in here, but the details are all here, and you have access to them. Okay, and everybody really understanding what business that we're actually in. Okay, so just as a quick recap here, okay, we talked about as your business begins to grow and you begin to delegate leads to outside salespeople and inside salespeople, you're going to lose productivity. It will happen. Okay, so how do the big businesses do it? Well, prospects are pre-sold on their products and services before they ever show up. Okay, so you can do the same thing to a certain extent without spending an awful lot of money through the use of direct mail and email. Okay, so when you so we understand lead flow charts. The lead comes in, things are going to happen to that lead a little bit along the way, and part of the things that are going to happen is it's going to get, he or she is going to get video emails and some direct mail along the way that tells my story, that brands me as the person with access to houses or as the person with access to buyers. Okay, that's the goal that we're trying to do. This will make it easier on me, the agents that work on my team, okay, not just to get appointments, but to get the business when we show up, so we don't have to be as good as we need to be without that. Okay, because you can ask Daniel Posante and other Platinum members with large teams that they have to spend an awful lot of money and time training and training and training their people to be better at what it is they do. And people are motivated by their own stuff now. So there's only so much you can train. They either get it or they don't. Okay, so in the midst of all your training, and I'm just telling you, you can make it easier on everybody by making the prospect more likely to do business with you. Okay, so very good. This is a good part one on the Platinum follow-up systems, and I want to thank you guys for paying really close attention today and being a part of it. Okay, so hopefully you made a good list of things to do. If we weren't able to get to your questions, okay, as we were moving through the webinar, if we weren't able to get through your questions as you were typing them in, never fear. We will definitely get to them, okay? And I will make sure that we follow up with them with a personal call or an email or whatever you need there with the email. So don't hesitate to make good use of those webinar control panels through GoToWebinar there. All right, but that's a good good stopping point for part one of our Platinum Millionaire Agent Maker coaching webinar for this month, which is essential follow-up systems for making more money in today's real estate market. So with that, that's going to take care of our coaching webinar, and let's go sell some houses. And hey, while you guys are out selling, go sell big. We'll talk to you real soon, okay? Thanks, and we'll see you. Bye-bye.